This is to the media, to your twisted, immoral society, and your communist government. We hate you all, and we are ready for war. We will always speak up and expose the corruption, the authoritarianism, the tyranny, and the hate.
Truth dispels lies, as light dispels darkness.
From an undisclosed location, deep in an occupied zone, you are listening to Covert Radio.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Covert Radio, and this is the premiere episode. I don't know if I'm going to number them, but this is the first one. I just want to try this today. I'm trying to make this quick. This is the Rhetoric Roundup Report for January the 12th, 2022. Now, the thought behind this is what I do is I try to expose and give you a quick opinion on just some of the previous day's behavioral modification, implantation, and indoctrination strategies. This is something that I have a keen eye for, that I have the God-given gift of discernment. I can see it from a mile away. I got my thumb on the pulse, you know what I mean? I've been involved with media for basically over the majority of my life, and I know what I'm looking at, and I know what's being unleashed on all of us. That's why you guys pay me to do this, right? I save you a lot of time. I save you a lot of effort. I save you guys from digging through all of the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of websites and watching hundreds and hundreds of videos that people upload. All in an effort for you to try to understand or discern what is real and what is not real. What you're seeing is fact or it's propaganda. And, basically, I want to show you their attempts, their daily attempts, because I would like to do this every day. If I can get like 30 of you guys to come aboard on Patreon, I'd probably be able to squeeze this in at least once a day for 10, 15 minutes. And again, it's just a rundown of everything that's gone on the previous day or the previous few days. And, but it's all information that is geared towards behavioral modification, which is something Covert Radio has talked about since day one. And the information that they're trying to indoctrinate all of us with, whether it's a specific message or they are anticipating a specific action or reaction, or if they're trying to somehow, indoctrinate a specific belief or, what have you. And, behavioral modification, again, based for 100 years now out of the Tavistock Institute, and, the billions of dollars they budget for their hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands of subsidiaries that they control, again, is all based around behavioral modification. And to back that right, isn't that right, Dr. Fucci? Is that right there, bud? Let's see here.
You can't control people's behavior. But what you can do is you can educate and you can try to modify behavior. Our experience tells us very clearly that the only way that you can do that effectively is to create an environment in which you don't force people who are the subjects or the targets of your education and behavioral modification. If you force them underground, if you make your education in an environment of oppressiveness, you're not going to get to the people that you need to get to. You've got to create a situation where people understand that they're not going to be stigmatized, that they're not going to lose their human rights when they find out that they're infected, that you're going to do something to help them. You see more and more people coming in, getting the education, and ultimately modifying their behavior. We have already seen that in spades in this.
Yeah. So, that's actually an old C-SPAN interview. Dr. Fauci was heavily involved with HIV and all of that. And that's a whole other deep well. But, the key word there is truly behavioral modification. And the reason I bring that up is because that is a very, very, very specific term with very, very specific connotations. So, again, if coercion, manipulation, lies, why is all of that needed if the facts are the facts? I mean, that's my question. So let's take a look at the Rhetoric Roundup report for, again, January the 12th, 2022. And this was something nice I seen in a report today. I took a screenshot of that. These are in, thousands of locations, tens of thousands of locations in New York City. And papers, please. If you look back through Covert Radio back a couple years ago when this first started, one of the videos, and you know what, I'll link it in the description. I talked about papers, please. And the meaning behind that is what the Nazis did in Germany back in World War II in the 1930s and 40s. They needed to know who you were. They wanted to check your papers. They wanted to make sure that you were authorized to be where you were. And it's the exact same thing that's happening again. New York City requires you, and that's in bold. Like, you know what I mean? There's just so much that is, I don't know. New York City requires you to be vaccinated against COVID-19 to enter this business. Those 12 years of age and older must show proof of your Cooofeee-19 vaccination. The COVID video, what's going to happen is eventually, there's people going to be faking them, and they're just going to be fakes everywhere. And the new strand that's coming out probably in the fall of 2022 for winter 2023, that's going to be, 7, 8, 9 away, and what's going to happen is we're going to realize that this won't stop because people have fake papers. So how can we make sure that the information and the proof of papers is legit? Well, the only way that could possibly happen is biometrically, right? I would suggest maybe getting a tattoo on your right hand, or maybe some sort of, some sort of an identifying chip, possibly, that, that way all of your medical information can be stored on that. And there's no mistaking if your papers are legit or not. We're going to take a look at this little video here. I think I bumped into Amalia. The amalgamation, which I'll link that video as well. It's a little story that Covert Radio grabbed from the ether the other night. And, I could have really elaborated on it. And there's some very, very, very smart people that listen to Covert Radio. Vera being one of them that, just completely got it. You know what I mean? It is what it is. And that's with a lot of information, I believe, that comes from above. It really is symbolic. And a lot of times it really does take somebody, that has a certain level of knowledge and understanding and really experience that could, see exactly. To give you an example of that would be what that one movie with Tom Hanks, and he was a code breaker or something. And, that movie, it was, all the religious Catholics were going crazy about it. I forget what it is. Angels and Demons, or the one before that, or whatever. But yeah, here's Amalia. I seen her in New York. She has no nose, and her mouth appeared to be sewn shut, but she's still jamming something up in there. I don't know what that's about. So let's take a look at this video right here. This is CNN.
Is the media at this point out of touch with the public about COVID? a lot of the media does seem, when I look at it and then travel the country, to be very out of touch with people. I mean, if you travel the country, people are not really living in the same bubble that it seems that most of the media is messaging toward. If people are tuning out what's going on in cable news, if we're not messaging toward the general population, they're just, ignoring everything and living their lives, and we're not really...
Because nobody believes it anymore. Nobody believes it anymore. Even the people who believed it don't really believe it anymore. Everything we go over here, I'm going to link down in the description. If you want to watch it, the full-length videos, you can. I just found it interesting that, CNN would actually... Because, see, here's why they have to do that. They have to do that so that they don't lose everyone. Everyone. They cannot continue to stand there with red paint on their shirt, red paint all over their hands, red paint all over their face, red paint all over the walls, all over the floor. And then when they're asked, were you messing around with the red paint? No, what are you talking about? There's no red paint. It's all over you. That's not red paint. Your eyes are deceiving you. Fact checkers, these crazy cuckoo moron lunatics are saying that there's red paint all over my hands and wall and shirt and floor. They're cuckoo conspiracy crazies. Morons. What red paint? As they're wiping the red paint off of them, they're asking you, what are you talking about? What red paint? See, so they have to do, occasionally, I'm just giving you inside baseball. They have to do stories like this occasionally so they don't lose everyone. I mean, 90% of the thinking population, if not all of the coherent thinking population, already know nobody cares what you say because it is propaganda. The truest form of behavioral modification, propaganda, indoctrination. It's the purest form. Nobody cares, especially when the CEO, who's making billions of dollars a quarter now, is telling you that his own products you need. Because, I think, again, a lot of intelligent people would be like, yeah, this makes sense. If there weren't billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars at stake, right? I mean, who's paying for all of this? But this is what I mean. This actually took the breath out of my lungs right here. This is the CEO of Pfizer. Okay, this is Yahoo Finance earlier yesterday. Here we go. Listen closely, because he's hard to understand.
Use, occupation, etc., etc. So. And we know that the 2 doses of the vaccine offer very limited protection, if any. The 3 doses with a booster, they offer reasonable protection against...
Do you understand what he just said? Let me take that back for you here. A little bit more. Right there. Listen.
Occupation, etc., etc. So, and we know that the 2 doses of the vaccine offer very limited protection, if any. The 3 doses with a booster.
The 2 offered already offer very limited, if any, protection. Now the 3rd, now we're talking. Those first 2 don't mean nothing. They mean nothing because they don't even, they offer very limited, if not zero. This is the CEO of Pfizer.
Vaccine offer very limited protection, if any. The 3 doses with a booster, they offer reasonable protection against hospitalization and deaths. Against deaths, I think very good. And less protection against infection. Now, we are working on a new version of our vaccine.
Nah, no, you're not. Really? A new one? Jeez. Another $10 billion in 2 or 3 months? Oh, wow. I'll link this video down in the description. Let's move on. You know, this is a whole other thing, but this is interesting because now, again, we see the red paint. You have red paint on your hands. There's red paint on the wall. There's red paint on the floor. There's emails leaking now, and there's information coming out like crazy because really everybody's done with it. And this is why listen, I don't like to say these words, but you really better pay attention in the next 5 or 10 minutes, okay? Because this truly is the next step. They have no other option. They have no other option. The king has no clothes. The king has no clothes. They have no option. When in doubt, shut the lights out. When in doubt, starve them out, okay? Because they don't really have an option. The red paint is everywhere. It's everywhere. So, you know, they gotta move forward in another route because compliance is not where it needs to be, where they want it, or where it, in their minds, where it should. I mean, these are psychotic people, in my opinion. You know, because all of us here, you need to understand something. They want deep into your mind and my mind. Because their only end goal is to socially engineer a much more compliant, docile, dumbed down, and, you know, obedient slave population. That's why cattle, people who raise cattle, that's why they clip their ears. That's why they tag them. That's my cow. That's why in the prisons, you know, and that started in Nazi Germany, they added mass amounts of fluoride in the water. Read about it. Because fluoride kept everybody docile. And if everybody's docile, and, you know, that's why they took the weights out. They'll tell you, oh, it's because they were used as weapons or whatever. No. They don't want any competition. They don't want to have to fight. You know, granted, that's not every prison, but most prisons, they have no fitness equipment. They took the weights out. You know, you can still lift your body weight and push-ups and do burpees and everything like that. But yeah, they're not going to enable you or them, the prisoners, because they got to maintain control. It's the exact same thing with this. And again, that's why, you know, there's red paint everywhere, and they've got to literally start, you know, they got to bring in the pressure washer now. Because if they can't get the red paint off, then they're just going to pressure wash your eyes out of your skull. And then you definitely won't see the red paint. You understand what I mean? Except they're going to do it through several measures, chemically, physically, because it's coming. Scientists believed that this is information that's been being said for over 2 years, and now it's real. According to the Telegraph, it's real now on January the 11th of 2022. That's not red paint. Scientists believed COVID leaked from Wuhan lab, but they feared the debate could hurt international harmony. Emails to Dr. Fauci show likely explanation identified at start of the corona. But there were worries about saying so. Why do you think that is? And I'm telling you, it wasn't because of international harmony. It's because there's 6 million people's blood on somebody's hands. The red that we all see is blood. Ask Bob Saget. You know, and I was going to do something about that, but it's just so sad to me because the reality is there's millions hundreds of thousands of Bob Saget's right now, except they don't get any coverage. They don't go, there's no news knocking down their family's door. If anything, it's suppressed. You can read all about this. I'll link this in the description there. But here's what I want to get into quickly here, and hopefully about the next 5 minutes. Walmart and other retailers are closing stores, limiting hours amid surging COVID-19 cases. Your local Walmart is closed. Mind you, this has been a multi-decade plan. They're finally here. They got their prison structures all over the United States. And, with the stores closing, now this is after they've moved into your town. They've destroyed Main Street. They've destroyed the automotive, places, the little garages and mom and pop shops that would sell tires. They've knocked them out of the park. They've knocked all the, all of the electricians out. Not electricians, but places that might sell lamps or, whatever. I mean, the carpet places, the furniture places, the food places, the people who used to specialize in baby clothes or care, strollers, and every Babies R Us, you know what I mean? It's Walmart. Now, you guys know that, I know. But now I'm showing you that this is the end game. Now that we've knocked everybody out of the park, you have no other options. And now we're going to dictate exactly what happens. Walmarts are closing everywhere. Let's go to this one. Walmart. This is gobankingrates.com. This is Walmart, Apple, and more stores are choosing to close as COVID rates spike. What's the date on this? Let me see. It's in the last day or so. This here is money.com. This was January the 10th or 11th, right here. This is Insider businessinsider.com. This is 11 hours ago. Photos show many grocery store shelves are bare, and it's not just winter weather wiping them out. Now you're stupid. Now, you're a moron, right? Somebody just said that in Congress on a hot mic yesterday, right? Moron. Idiot, moron, conspiracy theorist, dum-dum. Oh, I wear a white coat. Yeah, it's not just winter weather wiping them out. Really? So here we go with tons. Shoppers are flocking to social media to share pictures of empty grocery store shelves. Walmart, Trader Joe's, Target, Giant Foods are among the stores pictured with low inventory. Supply chain issues were further aggravated this week by the Omicron variant and winter storms. So winter storms that have happened since the beginning of civilization. Winter came, winter comed and snowed and ice it did. So it's caused the entire supply chain to shut down, right? Because you're an idiot, so believe that. Omicron, it come did, just like the flu used to come every year. Get your flu shot. Just like that. That's the reason there's no, we're talking staples. Core staples. I swear to God, this is a true story. Not even 6-7 hours ago, I went to Walmart. I forget what I had to get. It's like in and out. I'm checking out at the self-checkout place, and I look over the entire belt of a normal, like cash register lane. The entire belt was back can to can to can to can to can. You could not squeeze a piece of paper. Okay. The entire belt was canned food. There were 4 fairly young kids. They were probably in their 20s, maybe late 20s at the most, early 30s. I doubt it, but we'll say late 20s, early 30s. They had 4 buggies filled with canned food, cases of water, toilet paper, because See, this is the conditioning. This is the indoctrination. Look. One loaf of bread. How much bread do you have? You better go get bread. Look. Everybody's wiping it out. You got to go get yours. Panic. Buy. Panic. Buy. Look, it's all ending. Look, there's no food. So that triggers everybody. The hunter-gatherer, core, tribalistic, weaving that makes up the human. Hunt, gather, hunt, feed your family. Oh my God, I better go, because everybody, so, look what's going, we better go. So, see, even if the supply chains really are low, which they are, and, there is a winter storm, okay, that's fine, but it's only going to exacerbate the problem. And they know that. They did this not too long ago. They blew up all the ships out sitting, trying to get into port. You know what I mean? That was a run up to what's really happening now. Because what's really happening is 2.5 million truckers back in November said that they will quit over the mandate. And that's exactly what's causing this. And it's not only them, it's every single industry. It is not winter problems. It snows every year for thousands of years. We've had automobiles for 100 years, 100 and some years now. The roads have been paved for a very long. We know what winter is, okay? It's not winter. And it's not because of whatever they say it is. This is the reason. They're wiping all the industries out. The medical industry, the service industry, the shipping industry. They're grinding America to a pulp. They're bringing us to our knees. And whatever's out there left right now, look, I just showed you. And this is just a handful. We got money.com. We have gobankingrates.com. We have businessinsider.com. Look, empty shelves, empty. And, and this is just duplicated over and over again on all the socialist media. Here we go. We got Market Watch. Omicron worsens labor shortage, slows economy. And because of mommy, it could boost inflation? Oh my goodness. If you look back at my videos, you will see I've been talking about inflation for like the last 3 years. I told you guys about these energy bars I get. And I buy a box of them, every week or whatever, couple boxes a week or something. And, I just started noticing like every few months, it's the same size box, but the box is lighter. The bars are smaller. Few months later, the box is lighter. The bars are smaller. A few months, and the price keeps going up. So I said, at least 2 or 3 years ago, I said, this is the start of them hiding the inflation, of what's really happening with inflation. They're hiding it with portion control. Because, just like Oreos, when you're making, 7 million packages of Oreos every day, believe me, there's some genius sitting with a calculator saying, if we are able to reduce the size of each cream filling by 0.0271, that would increase our probability of profit. And okay, so they tried to hide it for 2 to 3 years now. They cannot hide it anymore. But they're having scapegoats. They're having winter and this and sickness and that. This is the only one that says labor shortage that I've seen in the last day or two. could boost inflation. We're smack dab in the middle of inflation. See, they talk to you guys like you're dumb, but the more you see this, the more over and over and over and over again. But see, they're telling half truths here. See, look at this. Record wave of coronavirus causing many people to miss work. They're calling off sick. That's what it is. They're calling off sick, right? No, they're not. They were fired. They were told go. Okay, or they left because they're not going to be guinea pigs. They're not going to be forced to inject something that somebody, they're just not going to do it. And we're talking literally millions and millions and millions of people across every working industry in America. You mean to tell me that that's not part of the equation? They will never tell you that because they will never admit that. But you see what they're doing now. They are admitting other things. There's paint on the wall. There's paint on their hands. It's actually blood, but they're starting to admit because they literally can't hide it anymore. But they're still trying everything they can to, to make you believe that you're a freak, you're a moron, you're alone, you're some right-wing extremist terrorist. Here we go. Here's Fortune. Again, this is all in the last day or two. Where did the meat go? Shoppers increasingly find empty grocery shelves due to COVID and severe weather. You see how the stories stay the same. There we go. Okay, there's that. I mean, it's across the board. It's the same story over and over and over and over again. When you see this, you got to get ready because the implantation of the indoctrination is completely driving a speeding train into a wall. They have no other choice. So they're sounding the alarms. Go finish this off. Go finish the shelves. Wipe everything out. Because once it's gone, it's gone. We've lost millions of truckers. We've lost millions of, cargo haulers. We've lost millions of dock workers. We've lost millions of supply chain workers. We've lost millions of warehouse workers. They're not telling you that because they want you to feel alone. Lululemon joins Walmart, Macy's among retailers cutting store hours because of mommy commies induced staff shortages. But that's because they're out sick. That's what that is. They got the snickles and they had to call off. It's nothing else. It had nothing to do with what the Supreme Court, trying to decide right now. And what do you... Listen, here's the best. This is the best right here. Right here. The Justice Department is creating unit focused on domestic terrorism. The Justice Department is establishing a specialized unit, the Ministry of Domestic Terrorism, the Ministry of Citizen Love, as that's what it should be called, the Ministry of Love of Citizen, the Ministry of Freedom, the Ministry of Free Citizens everywhere. But it's actually they're focused on domestic terrorism. The department's top national security official told lawmakers Tuesday as he described an elevated threat from violent extremists in the United States. Assistant Attorney General testified just days after the nation observed the 1-year anniversary of 50 people walking into the Capitol Dome. at the U.S. Capitol. He said number of FBI investigations into suspected domestic violent, crazy, maniac, psycho extremists has more than doubled since the spring of 2020. We have seen a growing threat for those who are motivated by racial animus, as well as those who ascribe to extremist, anti-government, anti-authority ideology. Wow. Wow. I told you when it happened last year and they started throwing that word around, I knew right then and there. And all of us are going to be labeled that. That's where this goes. I'm going to show you what they're doing in China right now. Well, not in this video, but they're doing it today, yesterday. They've been doing this. It's unbelievable. And, I've covered what they're, I have so much information. I could sit here and literally talk 10 hours a day. I really genuinely could. And it would probably take me 3 or 4 months to get caught up to the new stuff. You know what I mean? It's unbelievable. It's really unreal where this is going, how fast it's going. But here's the bottom line. They cannot stand if we stand up. And I have a quick video I'm going to do right after this. Again, it was another flood, another, download. Right as soon as I was going to hit record, I looked over towards my door to make sure it was shut, and I seen a pyramid. And the second I seen that pyramid in my mind, boom, I got flooded. And I'm going to quickly do that right after this, because the base of it is all of us. We are the ones at the base. We're on our hands and knees. And each level, they all stand on the next, on the next, on the next, on the next, on the next. And all these people, they know that. If one of us get up, and then 2, and then 4, and then 8, and then 16, and you just stand, get off your knees and say, that's it. The second people start standing up and say no more, it starts swaying. The bottom is what supports all of this. Your docility is supporting all of it. Your compliance is supporting all of it. Just like Amalia. That's it. All we have to do is stand up. And they know that, and they're terrified. That's why they got to start throwing some crumbs and saying, yeah, I think, you know what, that is some red. Something's red. And they're scrambling. Because as soon as people stand up and say no more, there's no more balance. It literally all comes crashing down. And that's it. This is I didn't want to make it this long. I can't believe these are this long. I really was shooting for like 15 minutes, but this is the first Rhetoric Roundup report for January the 12th, 2022 on Covert Radio. And, I just want to tell you guys, stay quiet, be afraid, and question nothing. Because they will tell you who you are, what you're allowed to see, where you're allowed to go, what you're allowed to hear, and what you're allowed to believe. And remember, ignorance is intelligence, and weakness is strength. Covert Radio, you guys take care. You have a good day.
This is to the media, to your twisted, immoral society, and your communist government. We hate you all, and we are ready for war. We will always speak up and expose the corruption, the authoritarianism, the tyranny, and the hate.
Truth dispels lies, as light dispels darkness.
From an undisclosed location, deep in an occupied zone,